What do Florida voters think about all this, and will this purple state go red or blue come November? Joining us now for more thoughts on this, Newt Gingrich's Florida campaign manager, Mike Haridopolos, and DNC Vice Chair, R.T. Rybak, the mayor of Minneapolis. Gentlemen, welcome. Great to see you here today.
Happy to be here.
Thank you.
Let's talk for a moment about what's at play. Mayor Rybak, let me ask you, watching from the sidelines there, do you feel like the Republicans are doing enough to beat themselves up, and that in and of itself is going to have a pretty good impact with voters and help your guy come November?
Well, I'm kind of a wedding crasher at a dysfunctional wedding, so we're watching it with interest. But I think that the fact is we've gotten a pretty clear picture of what this election is going to be about. Mitt Romney, I think especially this week with releasing part of his tax returns, it's really proven that he hasn't been straight with folks. And I think it's a pretty clear choice here that the Republicans can fight over their nominee, but we've got a president who's out there fighting for the middle class. We have a state where there's an enormous number of foreclosures, and we have a president who's focused on trying to solve that mess that he inherited. Well, we have one, in the case of Romney, who's invested in companies that have questionable records there. So I think it's going to be a clear choice between a party of the middle class and a president who's fought for it, and whatever the Republicans come up with.
Mr. Haridopolos, do you think that the voters are really as invested in knowing about the financial dealings of Mitt Romney or Newt Gingrich, or are they more focused on what's it going to take to create jobs today and restore the housing market, for example, in Florida? How fixated are voters right now about this particular issue over investments?
We're number one focused on jobs, jobs, and more jobs. That's what we're focused on. I serve as the president of the Florida Senate. I'm actually supporting Mitt Romney in the race. I'm not Newt's campaign manager in Florida.
Oh, sorry
With that
about that.
said, we're focused on jobs. What we're focused on is making sure that we create more jobs and opportunities. As you know, in Florida, we faced a $4 billion budget shortfall last year. We balanced the budget without raising taxes. And what I'm hearing from voters across my great state is how do we create new jobs and opportunities and bring financial sanity in Washington when they're spending more money than they have. I think it's 41 cents for every dollar is borrowed. We can't afford that. Floridians are looking for financial sanity and some common sense, and it's not coming out of Washington right now. And we believe the Republicans are the right way to go.
So are you saying then the voters really aren't focused on the investments as much as perhaps the media is making of this?
I think the media is way too focused on that. There's a lot of attack ads going back and forth. But let's go back to 2008. There's a very spirited race going on between Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. After it was said and done, the Democrats united. Much the same is going to happen with Republicans. Republicans believe in less government, less taxes, and more freedom. That's what we're providing for the Sunshine State and the state legislature. Mitt Romney and Newt Gingrich are both committed to that. But I think it's clear that Mitt Romney has the business experience to turn around this economy because he knows what it's like to really create jobs. And that's what these rallies are focusing on across Florida. They're asking these candidates, what can you do to help me find a job? We reduced the unemployment rate here in Florida from 12 to 9.9% in the last year, but they want a president who's on their side, who's going to reduce the burdens to starting a business and lowering taxes. And that's what I hear over and over at rallies. Let's create jobs. Let's create new opportunities.
So, Mayor Rybak, when President Obama went on, on the offensive in his State of the Union address, he was saying that he has a vision, but his vision is one where he believes there needs to be fairness across the board, and that he believes that there needs to be an emphasis on getting the people who are well off to pay more in taxes, et cetera, to help raise revenues and to help stimulate this economy. What's your take on that?
Well, it's clear from what you just heard that we agree, both Republicans and Democrats, want to focus on jobs. So let's look at this. The president inherited an economy that was hemorrhaging 750,000 jobs a month. Today, we've had 22 straight months of private sector job growth. And we have a president who's focused on the key issues that we need to do on that. We need to have a level playing field, not one that is skewed for those who game the system. We need to invest in places where, like small business and loans for emerging businesses. We need to look at an auto industry that Mitt Romney and Newt Gingrich would have let collapse. And the president took a gutsy, risky move, stepped up, and we made 1 million more cars in America. That's the kind of built-to-last economy that we have. And the fact of the matter is that the only thing in all these Republican debates that we've heard about, the only real idea is to go back to the bad old days of trickle-down economics and gaming the system that collapsed it in the first place. And if Mitt Romney claims that he has a record on jobs, let's look at what he's done, even here in Florida, that Bain invested in companies that have actually lost jobs here in Florida and all across the country. And the fact of the matter is, a person who's had an investment career like Mitt Romney is perfectly entitled to do that. But if that's his one criteria for being president, then we have to look at his record. And the record is quite mixed, that he's been a person who's made a lot of money for some very, very few people, and a lot of people have lost their jobs because of it. So when Floridians in the medical device industry, for instance, happen to know about a company like that here that Bain invested in under Mitt Romney and they lost their job, should they feel they want him in the White House, or should they look at a president who has led 22 straight months of private sector job growth?
All right.
That's the choice.
Well, we're running out of time. I know the Romney folks will dispute that as well. So the debate rages on, gentlemen. I know you both are watching very closely how the results are going to turn out coming this Tuesday, and we appreciate your insights. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
UN inspectors on their way to Iran to check out the nation's controversial nuclear program. Officials there say they will cooperate, but can they be trusted?